What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. As in today's video, I'm going to be continuing the series, and we're going to be predicting every single Week 4 game. Now I know that the Titans and Steelers game got canceled, but we're still going to predict it because they said that it might would get postponed to like Monday or Tuesday, so that would still be like in the week. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into this. Right, so first game is the Denver Broncos at the New York Jets, and as I've said in like previous videos on the channel, I think that the New York Jets or the New York Giants are the worst teams in the NFL. They're 31 and 32 for me. I don't know which one's which, but I do know that the Denver Broncos are probably better than the New York Jets, so I think I'll take them because, well, the Jets are just terrible, aren't they? Next is the Indianapolis Colts at the Chicago Bears, and now the Chicago Bears just overcome, I think, like a 15-point or more deficit against the Atlanta Falcons, something like that. Now the Atlanta Falcons are known for being like chokers, but yeah, so we can't really take too much out of that Bears victory. Nick Foles did look good, better than Mitch Trubisky, but I think that the Indianapolis Colts are going to win this game just because they have the better football team. Philip Rivers is actually playing well, and I trust him, even though he'll like throw a late game pick every single game. I still trust him more than I do Nick Foles, just because Nick Foles is very inconsistent. The Chicago Bears defense hasn't really played up to like what it's like what it was like even 2 years ago. So they don't really have that much of a defensive edge against the Colts, and I think that the Colts are definitely gonna have the better offense, so they're gonna win the game. Next is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Jaguars were red hot in the beginning of the year, and then they cooled down they cooled down against the Dolphins, and they lost like big to the Dolphins. So it seems like they played better against good teams than bad. And the Cincinnati Bengals are definitely a bad team. But I think that the Jaguars are going to win this game. Well, I'm actually going to predict that just because like they've actually shown like flashes that they're actually a very good football team. Don't know how that happened. So yeah, the Jaguars are like hot and cold, and I think that even if they're cold, they still have a chance to beat the Bengals. But if they are hot, well, they're definitely going to beat the Bengals, so I think that I'm going to choose the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game. Okay, next is the Cleveland Browns at the Dallas Cowboys, and for this game, so the Cleveland Browns are 2-1, and the Dallas Cowboys are 1-2. Now the Dallas Cowboys should be 0-3, but like they could also very easily be 3-0. It's just like was weird. But yeah, so the Dallas Cowboys could be 3-0. They also could be 0-3, so we really don't know where they are right now. I mean, I'm personally leaning more towards them being 0-3 than 3-0, but yeah. Now the Cleveland Browns are 2-1, and their only loss was an ugly one to the Ravens, but their two wins came against the Washington football team and the Cincinnati Bengals, so not very stellar wins. Now, the Cleveland Browns offense is, their roster in general is amazing, but Baker Mayfield seems to shrink in big games, and they're playing the Dallas Cowboys, who are definitely a good team, so I do think that Baker Mayfield will shrink, and the Dallas Cowboys will win this game. And also, on another note, the Dallas Cowboys are really only, their offense is really only good when they're down late. Well, no, not when they're down late, when they're down, a lot, and then they'll, mount a comeback, so I do think that the Cleveland Browns will, take an early lead, but the Dallas Cowboys will come storming back and win the football game. Okay, next is the New Orleans Saints at the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions, they put a stop to Kyler Murray's rampage. So they beat Kyler Murray, and the Saints haven't looked good. But you have to keep in mind who they lost to. They lost to the Raiders. Okay, that didn't look really good. But they also lost to the Packers on Monday Night Football, and the Packers Sunday Night Football, that is. And the Packers are a very good football team. So you can't really just say, oh, the Saints are trash for losing to the Packers. And you can't say the Detroit Lions are a very good team for just beating the Cardinals. So I do think that the New Orleans Saints are just going to win this football team just because they have the better roster. Okay, next is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Tennessee Titans, and this is the game that did get postponed. And I'm going to pick the Steelers, and the reason I'm going to pick the Steelers is because the Tennessee Titans have closed down their facilities while the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't. So the Pittsburgh, and it's already moved back to like Monday or Tuesday, so they're going to get an extra day or two of preparation. Well, the Tennessee Titans will like be lucky to practice once, so that means that the Tennessee Titans are not going to come prepared, while the Pittsburgh Steelers are. So I do think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win this game. Okay, next is the Seattle Seahawks at the Miami Dolphins, and like, do I even have to explain this one? Yeah, the Seahawks are going to win this game. Okay. Right. So next is the Minnesota Vikings at the Houston Texans, and the Minnesota Vikings, like, they've looked bad. They've looked really bad, and the Houston Texans have also looked bad. But keep in mind, they lost to the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Steelers, who are, well, no, yeah, who have combined for 8 wins and are like maybe 3 of the best teams in the NFL, arguably. I mean, I know the Ravens and Chiefs are up there at like the top 5 definitely, and the Steelers are somewhere in the top 10. So you can't really say that like, oh, dude, the Texans are suck for like they were meant to lose that game. Like I think everyone picked them to lose those games, so like can't really say that they're trash just because they lost those games. So I do think that the Texans are gonna win this game against the Minnesota Vikings because it seems like the Minnesota Vikings are just crumbling. The offense and defense do not look good. Okay, next is the Arizona Cardinals at the Carolina Panthers. And I think that the Arizona Cardinals are gonna win. Right. So last week was like down back to earth for the Cardinals and what's his name, and Kyler Murray, but I still do think that they are going to contend for a playoff spot. And the Carolina Panthers are not a good team, especially with their star running back Christian McCaffrey out. So so their offense should like be pretty stagnant against the Cardinals. And the Cardinals offense, like DeAndre Hopkins has really popped, hasn't he? Oh yeah, so the Cardinals are going to win this game. And then next is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These are 2 teams that Tom Brady was rumored to go to, and he obviously chose the Bucs. The Chargers have been injury riddled again, so I do think that the Buccaneers are going to win this game as they seem to be clicking now that they have a few games to like figure out what they're going to do and like get adjusted. Okay, next is the Baltimore Ravens at the Washington Football Team, and again I feel like I don't have to explain this one. The Ravens are going to win. Next is the New York Giants against the Los Angeles Rams, and so as I said earlier, the Giants are like one of the 2 worst teams in the NFL, and the Rams are actually a very good football team. And if it wasn't for a PI call that it was very questionable, they would have won the game against the Bills. So yeah, the Rams are a very good football team, and I think that they will win this game against the Giants. Okay, next is the Buffalo Bills again at the Las Vegas Raiders, who almost said Oakland Raiders, but yeah, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Bills are going to win this game because, like, okay, their defense is, like, good, right? We all acknowledge that. And then Josh Allen has been, like, popping on all cylinders, so, like, their defense and offense have both been playing good. And the Raiders have just come off from an ugly loss against the New England Patriots, so I do expect that the Buffalo Bills to keep the momentum going and going to beat the Raiders. Next is the New England Patriots against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think that it's undeniable that the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. The New England Patriots are like a very good football team. I just think that they won't be able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs with Mahomes and all those weapons on offense. And like their defense, right? Their defense actually held Lamar Jackson to like Lamar Jackson did not have a good game, so I do trust their defense a little bit more now, and I think that they will win this football game. Next is the Philadelphia Eagles at the San Francisco 49ers. And this is like a game that like it's like I don't want to say it's do or die for the Eagles. Like they have to start winning a game, and this game is winnable for them because I think Nick Mullins is starting, and the 49ers have had a lot of injuries. But I do think that that the San Francisco 49ers are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles just because Carson Wentz has not looked good. The Eagles as a whole team have not looked good, and even though the San Francisco 49ers, they beat the Giants, I still think that they are the better football team, so I'm going to pick them to beat the Eagles. And next is the Atlanta Falcons at the Green Bay Packers, and no one can pick the Falcons to win anything anymore after the last 2 weeks, so yeah, I'm going to pick the Green Bay Packers. And that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you guys did, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Too easy!